अब बात करते हैं अडानी जी की। इसलिए कर रही हूं बात क्योंकि राहुल गांधी ने बहुत बात की अडानी जी की। द रिजल्ट शो दैट इट डिड नॉट हैव एनी रेजोनेंस विद द वोटर, बट Ajit Pawar also kind of walked into an Adani conversation by suggesting that Mr. Adani was part of confabulations जब बात की जा रही थी कि भाई बीजेपी के साथ रहें या छोड़ें, so on. You know the story. How do you look at this? Clearly, it was not an electoral factor, but why was it such a rhetorical factor? Why did Ajit Pawar feel the need to bring in Gautam Adani into the political conversation?
See, he did not bring Gautam Adani in political conversation for any kind of politics. The question was asked in the interview you're referring to, in which that what exactly happened. Because everyone who interviews Ajit Pawar wants to know why he walked out of the alliance or why he separated from
And
Mr.
he was
Sharad Pawar.
suggesting that Sharad Pawar was in on it, and even Gautam Adani was there, and so was everybody else.
When I met him for the first time, of course, my question was also same, that actually what happened in the background, so that I should know that what actually is
Correct.
on the ground. So that story which he narrated now publicly, that has been in the circle since the day story happened.
Right.
Because people would have been. It's not that it happened in just a room of a handful of people. All the MLS signed that letter. Only mistake, according to Mr. Pawar, is that he didn't keep the copy of that letter in which all the 50 plus MLAs had signed in favor of joining the BJP government. But that's besides the point. Coming back to your question, the question everyone asks, because Ajit Pawar Saab doesn't give many interviews. It's the first time in this election that he's been interactive with the media the way he has.
And I'm sure that has everything to do with you.
No, I mean, it is the need of
yeah, you've got to go out and tell your story.
No one can go and explain his story on his behalf. So when question was being asked, he explained that in what circumstances the situation developed. In that, a reference came in, which was then construed as that there was a presence or not presence, which he clarified later on. The presence wasn't there. It was just a premises which is being referred to it, in which probably that association is there.
Yeah, but was Adani a non-factor? What is the phrase you would use to describe all the noise around Adani? The allegations from the Congress, which is a party, by the way, everybody in our audience may not know, you have helped the Congress win in Karnataka. You have previously helped Ashok Gehlot almost win in Rajasthan. So it's not like you haven't worked with the Congress. You have some sense of how the Congress thinks. The Congress was obsessed with Gautam Adani. When Ajit Pawar made that reference, the opposition started saying, see, Adani had a role in Ajit Pawar walking away from the alliance. What would you finally say on that charge? And do you think it matters to the voter at all?
See, there are three parts to this question.
Yes.
First of all, for your viewers and for your understanding, I would say that Congress is not obsessed with Mr. Adani.
Then
I know many people in Congress who are not obsessed with that fact. And those people matter.
So Congress is not obsessed with Mr. Adani, Mr. Gandhi is?
I don't know, but Congress, when you say that, means that every person in Congress should be obsessed. Okay. I know many people who matter in Congress and who have either held or are in higher positions, that they don't subscribe to the same thought.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, if Mr. Adani or the issues surrounding Mr. Adani were electorally important, they would have given some dividends in at least one election. How many elections have been fought in that name? The people who are obsessing with that, they need to, I would very humbly submit, introspect. Is it paying any dividends?
But the people are Rahul Gandhi and his core team.
I don't know about that.
Sure, of course you know.
I don't. I'm not part of those conversations.
No, I'm saying, see, it's visible in public.
But what we can see in public, that there has been no dividends related to that. And historically, also if you see, I mean, you are a veteran of many elections, many more than me, that oddly there have been some business establishments which have been dragged here and there in elections. Have they ever paid any dividends to anyone? And this obsession of whatever is there, I'm not siding with anyone. There could be merit, there could be demerit. That is for the agencies and authorities and the government to decide. But earlier there was an obsession with another business house. An entire election was fought around that. And what dividends did the party get? And it is not just the party's loss, it is democratic loss. The democracy as a voter, you and me as a voter, we all want democracy to be healthy. Whosoever is better performer, people are going to vote for them, and good luck to them. Yeah. And they have to retain that vote by continuing to perform. but continuing to be obsessed with something which is not paying you electoral dividends. And these two elections, Haryana and Maharashtra, if there was any template for the obsessors to see that it doesn't work, these are two elections in which the local factors at play. And the third election in even Jharkhand, which they won, they should learn from it that how the local factors matter in local elections and the national factors matter in the national elections. Even in this national election, they themselves didn't obsess over the said businessmen.
You said something very interesting. You said the Congress is not obsessed with Gautam Adani, right? And I can point to Chief Ministers Revant Reddy, for example, being one who has openly welcomed Mr. Adani into the state of Telangana. And there are other examples as well. Ashok Gehlot used to be cited as somebody who was friendly and ready to engage, as any chief minister would welcome business into their state. Do you think there is then a disconnect between the leadership of the Congress's obsession on this and the party?
Who makes the party? In a party, in an organization like Congress, who makes the party?
The leaders.
If the leaders, if there are 10 leaders in the room, I'm pretty sure 5 don't.
Right.
5 don't.
Right.
And if just to add on to it, if all 10 were obsessing, you would have been seeing every state leader picking up that issue in every election. Have you seen even a single state election in which any state leader has picked up or given a single statement or a single speech, electoral speech or otherwise?
So there's a disconnect between Rahul Gandhi and his party.
This is not for me to comment.
But let me ask you a question differently. Neerja Chaudhary, very senior journalist, when I was interviewing her on the results, she said, the Congress, she said it's a cliche, but the Congress has become a drawing room party. Now, the reason I'm asking you this is that you have worked with DK Shivakumar very closely in Karnataka, seemed to be one of those sort of never say die kind of political leaders. Ashok Gehlot, okay, he lost, but he fought hard till the very end. Do you think, having worked on Congress campaigns, that the Congress is in danger of becoming a drawing room party?
See, how I see things is that if they couldn't read Haryana, if they couldn't read Maharashtra, then that means that they are disconnected from something which they should be connected to. And if their endeavor is to win these elections, then of course they will have to hit the roads in the way that others are also doing it. In Maharashtra, I can tell you that when we started, where we were and where we got to was a journey. It was not just for Ajit Pawar or NCP. Sure. The entire alliance, they were all in the back foot. Yeah. Entire sentiment was against them. Yeah. And I have been saying this, I have sometimes tweeted also that votes are always for emotions, never for reasons. Mahayuti had all the reasons for voters to vote for them, but not the emotion to start with. But the alliance on the opposite side, we kept waiting. अब करेंगे कुछ, अब करेंगे तो हमें ये करना होगा, अब करेंगे तो हमें ये करना होगा. Complacent. It never came. By the time it came, the elections are over.
Yeah.
And they could themselves see. I read one report in a very distinguished newspaper of other day, some senior journalist who covers the Congress beat, in which it was referred that the alliance partners also were shown the data that they are where they are. And still they say, and still I can share it with you later on, and still they say that they are shocked with this. There was a seat named Sakoli, from where Mr. Nana Patole was contesting. I have a month-long data tracker to show that every day it used to be 500 up, 500 down, 500 up, 500 down. Eventually it came out to 800.
The opposition isn't believing the results. They're saying it's manipulated. Voters, there's a sudden surge in turnout.
There is comfort in denial. There is comfort in denial, because then you don't have to go and accept anything and try to work on it.